Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the Spurs Only podcast. I'm here again today with Phil and Michael. As you can see, Michael's not got a picture today, so we're just going to roll with that. Now, we're going to talk today about, obviously, Spurs' last 3 performances that were pretty good against Slavia Prague in the Champions League, Newcastle as well in the Premier League with the draw, and Brentford at home, and, of course, what everyone's been talking about today and yesterday, the performance of Tottenham versus Forest. That was a 3-0 battering away from home with some questionable decisions made from the manager and the players alike. So, Phil, we'll just start with the obvious of the Forest game to begin with. What are your takes on Vicario?
Straight in there with the Vicario question. He's come under a bit of stick the last few games, hasn't he? Obviously, it all started with the Fulham game, and yeah, there's just been moments for me, and it's not just been recently. I think we've seen it during his kind of tenure with us. To be fair, he's obviously an absolutely incredible shot stopper. Pulled off some unbelievable saves. Not forgetting that one in the Europa League final right at the death. But then when it comes to ball at his feet and just general decision making, it's almost like we've got a bit of a Lloris Mark II towards the end of his reign with us. So yeah, a bit of a concern at the moment. Obviously, wasn't great yesterday. I mean, I don't want to pin the whole performance yesterday in Vicario, not by any means, but of course, between him and Gray for the first goal, just another just poor kind of moment of madness that led to them getting their opener. Second goal, I think he could have done a lot better. He was, it was a great goal, by the way, not taking anything away from the strike, but for me, he was way too far off his line and should have done much better to, cope with keeping that one out.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, Michael, bring you in here as well with Vicario. Do we think that Vicario is actually the sort of keeper that could take us to the level we want to be at and most fans think we should be at? Or do you think he should be giving the second keeper a chance?
Well, I agree with Phil mainly because he's a brilliant shot stopper. I think he does remind me. He is. Like, he's shown it before. I mean, past few games, no, he hasn't because, I mean, to be fair, in the Champions League when we had Vitinha, I mean, he was just fucking quality all day. A couple of long range shots and stuff like that. And he's letting some sloppy goals like the past few games, yes. But I like him as a shot stopper. I think he's good. Obviously, but like you say, under pressure with his feet playing out from the back, he just panics and gives it to the wrong player, puts them in a shit situation, and he's done that literally like 3 games on the trot now.
But that's what I'm saying. Like with a keeper like that, now obviously a lot of other fans are going to say Spurs aren't a big club. They're not this, they're not that. But just from the Spurs point of view, is he the sort of keeper? Like personally for me, he's not the sort of keeper that I want in goal if we're to make that next step or to at least challenge. And I'll be honest, I can't think of any of the top, maybe any of the top 10 teams at the moment in the Premier League, and that's not including us because we're not even in the top 10. I can't think of any of the teams that he gets in ahead of the keeper they've already got.
But my problem with this is like who do we go and get to replace him currently?
Well, why can't we give what's his face in name? The Kinski, second keeper. Why can't we give Kinski a chance? He was brought in, and Ange said this when he was brought in. He was brought in to challenge Vicario, and at this moment in time, we've seen no challenge.
All he's doing at the minute is just playing the cup games. He's not even doing that lately.
I was about to say he played in the. I think he played in the League Cup, did he? In the round against.
We're a bit back and forth at the minute because you look at our form in the Champions League, like we do really well there at the minute. And you look at the Premier League, it just drops straight off.
Well, you never know. It could be a bit like the Europa League last season. Let's hope.
We just don't want to. We'll finish 18th this year instead. Then go
That's
down.
fine if we win the Champions League. I don't care.
What you'd take a championship if we won the Champions League?
I would take Championship, League One, League Two, National Conference, whatever. If we won the Champions League, I would take that every single day in the week for one reason and one reason only. We might be
God.
playing in the Championship,
I'll
but
tell you what, there's a question for the viewers that we can do a bit of a poll on for the next podcast. Would you take the Champions League that meant going down to the Championship?
100%,
Absolutely.
100%,
No,
100%.
let's get that question asked. I'd be interested to hear actually what the viewers think on that one, to be fair.
Not only would we be the champions of Europe, would be guaranteed a trophy again the season afterwards because we'd win the Championship. We'd go back up. We'd still be in the Champions League as well, playing in the Championship. It would be unbelievable.
Do you know, I would like to say I can't imagine a universe where that ever happens to a team, but with Spurs, it's probably possible. So
yeah, and we'd be able to play Arsenal, or even say to Arsenal, "Look, at least we won the Champions League."
Yeah, I don't know.
It's what we've become as clubs.
Great to win the Champions League. I don't think I could take getting relegated, to be honest.
I could.
Relegation always sits with you, so.
So does winning the Champions League.
Yeah, but they'd be relegated as well. Would just heavily downfall it, I think.
Yeah, well, still, I'd like it. Anyway, moving on. In regards to the Nottingham Forest game, the performances of the other players. Now, from what I was watching, and I even rewatched it again and then rewatched the highlights and match of the day. A lot of people are saying that Archie Gray was at fault for the first goal just purely because he shouldn't have taken the ball there or asked for it. Now, again, I know we've already spoken on Vicario, but for me, it's Vicario's fault, that goal. And as well with the second goal, that is Vicario's fault. If you had an Alisson and Edison, well, to be fair, even Chelsea's goalkeeper, Sanchez, and keepers like that at the moment, they're not getting let in. Like, genuinely, I honestly do think a big issue with Spurs is the keeper position, the keeper and the left wing and striker.
The entire team just needs ripping apart.
I wouldn't say the entire team, because for instance, the midfield is. I know we're going to touch on the midfield as well that Phil's going to come in on, but we have a lot of midfield players. Yes, they might not be the best, but I just feel like there's more areas we need to attend to first rather than the midfield. What do you think, Phil?
I think we're pinning a lot on the goalkeeper position at the moment, and I just don't think. I think our problems stem a hell of a lot deeper than that, a lot deeper than the players we need right now. I think it actually goes into the general kind of beliefs of the players that we've got at the moment. And I think that's been potentially something that was created under that Ange reign. And like Michael kind of touched upon it there, it's okay, the start of our Champions League campaign was a bit ropey, and we went away to PSG, we still lost, but the last few games we have actually felt like we've got something about us in those Champions League games. Even Newcastle away in the EFL Cup, we lost and it wasn't great performance all around, but we did try to go for it. We didn't have any end products on that day. Whereas when it comes to the league at the moment, it's like we just can't be asked. It's like it doesn't matter whether we win or lose. And when I talk about the culture that's created, and this is, a little bit controversial, I guess, because and this isn't me kind of having a dig at Ange. I love Ange for what he done for the club, and I very much was kind of on the, when he got sacked in the summer, I actually wanted to see him come into this season and be given a shot at leading us into this season. I was disappointed that he was let go, but our league form from midway through his first season right through to the end of last season was unacceptable. And last season, for him to it meant that we went and we won the Europa League, fantastic, but he instilled a culture within that current group of players to say that actually don't worry about how we play in the league, because We need to put all our focus on the cup, and that's more important. And the joy that we're going to get from winning that cup is going to be incredible. So we ended up finishing 17th, which, okay, we didn't get relegated, but it's still a really, really piss poor league position. And we won a Europa League out of it. So what I'm trying to say here is that, is there now a danger? And I feel this is where most of the problem comes in. And I think this is what Frank's trying to allude to in his recent interviews when he says about there's bigger problems for him to fix at the moment, is I think that a lot of the players right now are still stuck in that belief of, well, you know, it doesn't matter whether we win or lose in the league, because that's not important. If we go out and we do well in the cups and we win a trophy, then that's fine, as long as we don't get relegated. So I feel that's kind of a large problem at the moment, and there's a lot of there's obviously a lot of divide in the fan base at the moment, but a lot of it is more leaning on not wanting Frank to continue with the club, and it's Frank's problem, and Frank needs to be out. And I get the frustrations, and I get where some fans are coming from, but I also don't agree with some of the takes from the fans on their stance as to whether Frank should go or not. I personally don't think it's right. This is a controversial take from me, considering most of the fan base would disagree. But I just personally don't think it's right to get rid of Frank yet. We're still not doing awfully. Okay, we've had some really bad performances, not easy on the eye. I get that, but we had that under Ange, we had that under Conte, we had that under Jose, we had that under Nuno. Right? I said it on one of the previous podcasts, but this is a culture problem that is deeper than the manager. So I've also seen a take about how, well, we should be able to expect a manager to come in and just significantly upturn our fortunes in a short space of time, right? And why don't we go out and do that? I get that, but that doesn't sustain us long term. We got that with Conte, for instance. He came in, turned our fortunes around immediately. We got top 4 that season. Amazing. But then it all fell to shit, right? We got Nuno for a bit. He got bloody manager of the month, and then it all fell to shit.
Well, Nuno didn't even last 6 months, did he? So
we've got the thing as far as Poch, where he came in, he didn't have an immediate impact, and his job was actually under threat. But long term, things actually worked out all right. So,
well, this is what I was going to say. Sorry to cut you off, but this is what I was going to say. And I hate to compare it as well, but if you look at say Arsenal, if you look at Arsenal, yes, they haven't won anything, and football is all about winning. And I truly believe that if Arsenal don't win anything this season, then there's going to be questions asked of Arteta. But look at what he's done with the club, and as much as it kills me to say it because it's Arsenal, but realistically, if you look at it from a mutual point of view, look at what he's done with Arsenal over the 6-7 years he's been there. Yes, they were in a really, really bad place, which is brilliant. But he has turned their fortunes around, and they are starting now to slowly show what. I know it's taken them 6 years. I genuinely don't, and I know it sounds biased, but I don't think it would take that long with Tottenham to show, because Arsenal didn't have a lot of stuff in place. They've had to spend a hell of a lot of money. They've spent over £1.5 billion to get where they are today on players. I think with Tottenham, we're very quick at getting rid of things when it doesn't work, and the fans are very quick at jumping on the bandwagon of it's the manager's fault, it's the manager's fault, it's the manager's fault. And like you said, we had Conte and Mourinho, where they're two of arguably the best managers in recent history on the planet. Everywhere they've gone, they've won. Everywhere. Mourinho got us to a cup final and we sacked him 7 days before. And if you believe the stories, that's to do with because of where we were in the league and we didn't have to pay him as much money. We should have kept him. We could have won that trophy, and that would have started the stepping stone of giving Mourinho the chance of moving on. Well, Conte was right when he came out and he said, "There's no belief in Tottenham. There was no belief inside the club or whatever that we're here to win things. We're not. We're there to make money." And I say this constantly, nearly every single day. We're at this moment in time. We won that Europa League because we were lucky, and 2, we were fortunate enough to play a Man United team that were just as bad as us. And the thing is we were the lucky ones that got the goal. But it wasn't a good final. It wasn't a brilliant final, but we won it. And you would hope to build from that. But I think the same with I'm with you, Phil, on this. Frank, he's been there less than 6 months, or just 6 months, I think. He's had one window where we've brought in some questionable players when we could have gone out and shown our strength. So for me, you have to give him one at least a season, at least. I mean, if we finish in the bottom half of the table and we don't win a trophy or we don't even show signs of anything, then yeah, I agree. At the end of the season, probably get rid. And if I'm honest, he'll probably go. And I think after the World Cup, we'll end up getting Potts back, which I'm a bit and ahhing for as well. But I think given if it's like, for instance, our chairman Vinny's come out today as well and said that that they're keeping him. They have full trust in him. They're going to back him in the windows. So we haven't had Daniel Levy come out and say that when he was there for years, that he's going to back a manager. He's going to give the manager what he wants. He's going to spend the money. So you never know. In January, things might change, and especially if we're in the driving seat for finishing in the top 8 for the Champions League as well, we're going to have to spend money because we just do not have the squad to compete with everything.
Yeah, and I think that's always been the biggest problem, is the backing, and that's why Arteta's done so well and he's been able to consistently stay up there in terms of competing. They backed him every summer, and yeah, this season is make or break for him. He has to go and deliver this season. If he doesn't, then yeah, of course, then for me, he's got to go, to be honest. But yeah, I remember his early days at Arsenal and where he wasn't delivering. He was missing
Well,
out.
they were 12. I remember reading something the other day, and they were 12 points ahead of us in the top 4 race. And I think it was the year Conte was in charge, and we still ended up finishing above them.
Exactly. So he had really bleak times, but he came through that. And again, that's because the board decided that actually the problems are with the team, so we need to back you, right? And slowly but surely, he's built a very, very very good side. Like there's no question about it. And that's just what we need. It stems from the very top, right? We've seen the change of ownership in the summer now. Levy's gone. We've got a board and we've got a CEO that's coming out and he's saying the right things. So we need to see that happen. We need to see, this January transfer window, we really need to go in with some intent. We really need to be going in for players like Semenyo, whether or not, we end up pulling those sorts of deals off. But those are the sorts of players that we should be going in for. We should be looking at our midfield right now and thinking, that's probably been our biggest weakness this season. What do we need to do there to ensure that we've got decent, experienced midfielders that can actually control games, add a bit of cohesion to the squad at the moment, and get us purring? Because that's what's lacking right now. We look so disjointed as a team. We've gone, good bit of business in the summer. Don't get me wrong, signing Kudus, signing Xavi Simons, right? Fantastic players, and I think they're going to do really well for the club. But again, our biggest problem has been the central midfield pairing, right? And we haven't got that right. We haven't got the players there right now to really, like I said, help us take control of games. That's what's lacked at the moment. And as soon as we start going in with intent, the players will start to buy into the project more. When we've got it coming from the very top as to what we're about and that we actually want to go out and be a successful club and be a winning club, that breathes in through the team, that breathes in through the management, and eventually things will start to change. But we are, 3 months in to the season, 4 months into the season, 4 months after Levy has departed, and we had those big up top structural changes. So yeah, I just think it's a bit knee jerk at the moment. I get that, not trying to get on like the fans' backs here as well with the ones that are very much frank out. I get the frustrations. It's not easy on the eye at the moment with some of these performances, but I think the better performances will come. We're seeing glimmers of it, but we just need to give it a bit of time. We need to lower our expectations a bit. I said it on the last podcast. I think part of our problem is our expectations are way too high as a fan base at the moment. And we just need to get to where we are at the moment, where we are as a team in this new era, this new project, whatever you want to call it. and just bide our time a little bit. And like you said, Mike, if we get to the end of the season and we finish bottom half and we haven't won a trophy and the performances have just continued to be really, really dire, and we've gone in January and we've tried to back him with the right players, then fair enough, make a decision on him then, but not right now.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, like for instance, Michael, you can come in on this one. With Frank obviously only being there, I think can you see if he was given the chance from like you saw his time at Brentford, can you see that he could end up being successful with Spurs, or do you think that the job is just not saying that Spurs are a massive club in terms of the Premier League or that, because realistically, if we're being real about it, we're not. We don't win trophies. We don't challenge for trophies. Last year was a fluke, let's be honest. But we are a bigger club than Brentford. We have a bigger fan base. We've been in Europe, obviously, the past couple of years. Do you think it's just a step too much for him, or do you think that he just needs time?
I think he'll be successful. Like, he does just need time. Like,
What do you class as successful though?
winning a trophy or something like it. I wouldn't say top 4 finish is successful. I mean, it'd be a step in the right direction for us because it's one of our ambitions. Finish top 4, another year of Champions League. But no, the end goal for any manager, especially at Spurs, has to be a trophy. I know we've just won one, but we don't really want to be going another 17 years without one, or a drought at all for that matter. Like every person supports the club because they want to watch them win a trophy.
Yeah, but a lot of fans of other clubs are realistic though.
Yeah, I mean, our fans aren't an amazing track record of being realistic. Most of them, anyway. It turns quite toxic. But I mean, it's going to take time. I personally I kind of agree with Phil earlier. I don't think we should have got rid of Ange. I think again, that's one of the second biggest mistakes we've had since letting Poch go. The man just won us a trophy, the first major trophy in 17 years, and yes, he finished 17th. The league at the end of the season was awful, and you let that type of manager go, who's just literally formed a good connection with all the players, and it just gets all unravelled again because he's out the door, and as a new manager comes in, new ways, new tactics, and it just. And look, it's taken another 4 months, and he's still not getting used to the players or the system, or he can't find a system at the minute. I think the past 2 or 3 games he's not changed it up as much. I think he's stuck with sort of the same similar lineups. But what gets me with the past 3 games is in the Champions League, the team he selects can win. The Premier League, it's just we can't. And I'm struggling to understand.
They can't be arsed in the league.
Do you know what? From watching the Forest game, that's what they looked like. They even when the first goal went in, you saw the reactions. I think of Romero, like after obviously some of the players went over and consoled Gray and whatever and said, "Look, don't worry about it." But Romero, when that goal was scored, he looked and he stood and he didn't even shake his head. He looked as if to just say, well, doesn't really matter."
If the team's just, even without Ange or even under Frank, if the team's just so focused on a European trophy again, I mean, which is fair enough. If they want to go for it, go for it. But you better come out winning it and not getting us relegated in the league. I don't understand. I don't understand. I know the Champions League's obviously the best league, the best competition in the world. But if you want to keep playing in the Champions League and better yourself as a player, you want to do well in the league to qualify every year to keep doing that. I struggle to see where the lack of motivation is for any of the players that we've got.
Yeah, no, to be fair, do you know the thing that annoys me as well with some of the squad is I think and I was talking about it today as well, is the fact that we do have some good players, not players that could walk into any team, but we've got some good players. Like, for instance, if we didn't qualify for the Champions League next season or even a European competition, like we have Van der Ven, we have Pedro Porro, who I've read today is starting to attract interest from Man City. Van de Ven obviously will attract interest from clubs. He's probably up there in the top 3 centre backs in the league for me. But this is what annoys me when we don't do well, or for instance, if not just us, but when any club doesn't do well, it's always the manager's fault. It's never the players. And it's like, well, the players are all right because they're going to get to leave and go to another club and still pick up their check. But I don't care what anyone says. When the manager picks the team, and it, like he did with the team for Forest or whatever, and we have a better squad than Forest, by the way. I don't care what anyone says. We do have a better squad than Forest. We've got better players individually as well.
Of course we do.
For me, when they cross that line, even if they were to, when they do their little huddle, even if they were to say, look, forget what the manager said, we're going to go out, play and win this game. But at the moment, like Phil said, in the Premier League, it looks they get in that huddle and they must say to each other, lads, don't run too hard today. We've got a European game coming up, or we've got a cup game coming up. Like, don't wear yourselves out. That's what it kind of feels like, and it just doesn't. That's the frustrating thing for me, is the fact that like us as fans pay so much money a year to watch them, and the thing that annoys me the most is sometimes they can't even do the basics right. And it sounds like we're in a meltdown, but I think you just have to be realistic as a fan and keep your head from wobbling and the knee-jerk reaction, and just have I know it's hard as a Spurs fan, but have confidence that Frank is the right man. Give him the chance, back him as well as fans at the game. Don't start booing him or saying things about Frank, because individual players, like for instance the Vicario, like I know I keep coming back to him, but just because he's the one who made the mistake for me this weekend and it's fresh in the memory. The 2 Vicario instance, especially the second one, you ask any goalkeeper, amateur or professional, what was he doing so far off his line there? Like this, that's, you can't blame that on the manager. That is players' mistakes. A manager could have Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Gianfranco Zola, bloody Pele, Maradona all in one team, and it should on paper be an amazing team. But if those players go out and decide that they're not going to play, or they're going to make these mistakes, that's them. That's not the manager. And I just think that's where we need to calm down and realise. And just to go on to my next point now as well, we've got Liverpool at home this weekend. Now, what do we think that's going to be?
Well, Liverpool are just hitting form again, aren't they?
Yeah, just hitting form at the time they come to play us.
Especially when our home record's not the best.
Our home form's not been great, of course. In our last 5 meetings, we've conceded 19 goals against them. So they do love a goal of 3 against us. Yeah, we got 1 win in 5. So the odds aren't firmly stacked in our favour, let's be honest. And yeah, I don't know. I can't call it, to be honest, at the moment. They've obviously got a bit of a mini crisis going on there, even though they have started to pick up some results again. But things still aren't looking amazing for them at the moment. So there is a chance that we get something from it. But I don't know. It's just so unpredictable at the moment with the way that we are and the way that Liverpool are. I think I'd be happy with a draw, to be honest. But I think none of us would be surprised if another defeat comes our way, to be honest.
Yeah,
I agree with you there. See, now to me, I am thinking more positive side. Like we have to me, we like. I want to say we're going to win. We'll be up for it. We'll be like, right, the players in their heads should be like, right, let's put that behind us. Let's show people what we're actually made of. Especially with all of them going for World Cup places and that next year with their national team as well. Just in regards to when we move on, and for instance, what we've been talking about a lot the January transfer window. What positions, Michael, do you think that we need to strengthen that are going to not take us to that next level, but are going to at least give us the helping hand towards the end of the season?
I think Ben off for Richarlison straight away. Get a new striker to if Kolo Mani doesn't stay or we accept because he hasn't got a clause to buy him. So after this loan this year, he will go. I think he's done all right, Kolo Mani. So I think he can stay. Or if he wants to sign a deal or we
He's
buy
been
him or whatever,
fantastic.
I think we should. I think he should. Richarlison's got to go. Sorry.
No, I agree with you. I've been saying it for years. How he's still at the club is beyond me.
Yeah, I mean, bless him. He does try. Like he does when he's off the ball. His movement, his work rate is really good.
Don't care.
But on it, he's again. He's supposed to be a striker. He's not. He's not doing himself any favors in games that we need him.
That's like saying to, for instance, that's like saying to a chef that doesn't cook good food. Oh, they are trying, but the food's horrible. Who cares?
Yeah. But, and so I think we need to strengthen the obviously striker. Definitely, I think give Koulibaly a bit more time. He is on loan. We can probably still see more from him. And then I want to stay left wing because since losing Son, we've just Frank's just sort of tried to throw a couple of formation changes in there to try and deal with it, or see if anyone can fit the bill. And I think we're lacking a lot there. Again, I think defensively we're doing okay. Both centre backs, brilliant. Romero, Van der Ven, they're obviously our regulars. I think Spence should be played more. I don't know why Frank dislikes him as much as Ange did, but I think he's still got some good in him. I think more good will come from here. Again, with Udogie. Udogie's really, really good, but he's very injury prone. I think we should bin him off as well. That's obviously a really hot take because Udogie's very, very good. But it's getting to a point now where he's back for like 2 games. He's injured again for another 6 weeks. So he's just...
Yeah, okay.
He's not playing enough. And then in the centre, want to keep Palinha, very good. Keep Bentancur, obviously very good. Keep Bergvall, keep Sarr. And who else we got? Archie Gray.
Yeah,
I think he needs more time or to give him to a championship club for another season or something. But then again, I don't think so. I think if we're going to do that, we should just get rid of him. But again, I think he's not played enough this season for me to really judge him that much. So
I think say for players wise, let's go on to Phil Hicks. I know he's got a very big opinion on our midfield at the moment. So I'm going to guess, Phil, that for you, we need to just improve our midfield, mainly, first of all.
We do. I mean, it's not the only area. I agree with Michael. Left wing, striker, absolutely. Love Richie to bits, but
I don't know how you love him. Why do you love him? What reason?
He's just a good player. He's a good shithousery player to have against like rivals. No. Obviously, it's not worked, but
I don't love him as a player in terms of what he brings ability wise to the club. Apart from he'll purple patch once or twice a season, but yeah, just in terms of his character and stuff. But that doesn't mean to say that we need to keep a hold of him because of that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that he's, been a good servant. He's been a good character to have over the years. But yeah, absolutely. From a footballing point of view, he's not. We need to cash in. He needs to. And there's, the last
cash in. What are we going to get? 2 chocolate coins in the lollipop.
If anyone wants to pay for him, at least.
But no, that's the right decision. The right decision is to certainly move him on, get a replacement for him. Left wing as well. Said it. I think I've said it already today, but Semenyo would be the ideal dream signing. I don't think it happens, just because I think I know he's got the release clause in Jan. if we trigger it, I can just see Liverpool, Arsenal triggering it as well, and ultimately he goes to Liverpool or Arsenal over us. But I still
Well,
think right.
apparently he is an Arsenal fan.
Yeah. So do we want another Eze situation? But we've got to go for it. I think we've got to go for it. So yeah, central midfield again. It's very audacious, but I think it's one that would really take us forward. Adam Wharton from Palace. I think
Yeah.
he's the sort of caliber of player that would really kind of take that, take our midfield to the next level. I think even there was talk over the summer about we needed to strengthen left back because at the time it was Udogie and then we had Ben Davis that was that left back cover, which just wasn't, then love Ben Davis to bits, but he's just a squad player now at best. It's like we need a decent rotation option. Obviously, Spencer's come in, and I say come in, Spencer's been there, but he's obviously shown this season that he can play off the left just as well as he can off the right. But I think if we're going to keep Spence rotating on the left with Udogie, then I think we need to think about our options on the right, and we need to have good competition for Porro. There's just so many times where Porro just blows hot and cold, and from a defensive point of view, he's not all that, is he? So I think that would be another option that definitely.
No, he reminds me a bit of like Alexander Trent. Like he can whip a ball in for fun most of the time, but
Can't even do that.
sometimes when he gets beaten, he's just like, ah.
Yeah, he can't even whip a ball in properly half the time. That's his trouble.
No.
So you can't really compare him with Trent, to be completely honest. But I know what you mean in terms of he's got that real attacking intent, but defensive wise, he's
That
just
person on loan we've got out, that Vuskovic, he can play.
He out. Do you know what?
He just
He could. I've watched a few of Hamburg's games as well because I'm that sad. And it Jesus, he's unbelievable. Like if it was me, I would put Van de Ven at left back and bring him in to go centre back with Romero. And then as well tactically, you could change it where we've got the ball or when whatever we can go into a back three of having Van de Ven, him, and Romero at the back because in the German league he is flying. He's like there's even talk that we're trying to get him to sign a new contract, an improved one, and he's not even with us because other clubs are circling to try and get him off of us. And he's come out and said as well that after this season, where he's obviously developed so much already, that if he's not playing regular football, he's going to look at his options away from Tottenham. And he's not even played for us yet. He's played a pre-season friendly, which he was brilliant in and score.
yeah.
Like he's turning in. He's literally like Hamburg. Obviously, are the best team in Germany. They're never going to be, but he's literally ripping it up. He's a beast as well. Like he's taller than Van de Ven and Romero. That's the thing.
I would love
to
to
have
see him.
him as a
I would
backup
love
as
to
well.
see him feature for us soon. But yeah, I think right now when you've got Van de Ven, Romero, even Kevin Danzo, that kind of free at the moment, it's going to take some beating to get in ahead of them. Maybe a bit of an injury crisis. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with this performance the weekend going, everyone's a bit annoyed and thing. But let's get back to the original question of Thomas Frank. Is he like for me? I'm guessing for you, Phil, and Michael as well. We're all on the same page. There's going to be a lot of Spurs fans out there that are probably going to watch this and be like, "No, Frank needs to go." Blah 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 blah. But what would your message, Phil, be to those Spurs fans to say with regards to Thomas Frank?
I think we just need to take a breath, pause for a moment, and just we've just got to think about the journey that we are on as a club right now, and we've just got to detach ourselves from these post-match reactions where we haven't put in a good performance and for a lot of fans, not just of Tottenham, but across the whole footballing landscape, the easiest person to blame when things aren't going well is the manager. But we have to move away from that for a minute, and we just have to, we have to think about where we were, where we have been in the last few years. Okay, it feels like that these performances are more and more from like poor performances are more and more consistent at the moment, but we've had poor performances like this under so many different managers over the last few years. We haven't really had it that good at all since Poch. Like the Poch days was where we peaked, and since the Poch days, I think year after year we've gradually got worse, and that is a reflection on the football club and the way we've been run, and not on the managers. Okay, some of it goes on the managers, of course, but not on the manager at hand at the moment. So we've got to remember that, and we've got to remember that this journey we're on right now. I think we just need to give it a little bit more time. We need to see what we do in January. Hopefully, get to the end of the season, and we haven't, with Frank, and hopefully we haven't had too bad a campaign that we can then have a summer window back him even further. And if we don't, then we've got to put our questions back to the board. We've got to put our questions back to the owners and be like, what the hell's going on? Because shit was meant to change, and clearly it isn't.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Anything to add on that, Michael, or do you think Phil's covered pretty much what Frank and what the fans need to do?
Yeah, I think he's pretty much hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. So before we end it for this episode, then prediction time. Obviously, it's Liverpool at home. Michael, prediction? We should start a little table on this as well.
They don't have Salah, do they? Because he's off.
No, he's off for the African Cup.
So that's. I mean, they're probably not going to.
Not that he was going to start anyway, but
no. It's tricky because they've just hit form. We're kind of in and out of form. Shit in the league, good in the Europe, but I think it might. We'll probably end up winning this. We'll probably win 2-1. I'm going with 2-1.
Yeah, you're going to go for goal scorers.
I want to say Kudus and Richarlison.
After you've just said to get rid of him, and you're saying that he's going to score the winner.
He's either going to start, isn't he? So if he starts and he scores, then yeah.
All right, fair enough. Phil, your prediction?
He's going to when he doesn't like Liverpool, but I'm going to go 2-2. I think it will have goals in it, as we've seen in this fixture. I'm going to be hopeful and say that it's going to be a score draw, 2-2.
You know what? I'm going to go with a surprising result for most people, I think. I'm going to say 4-1 to Tottenham.
Jesus Christ, that is hopeful.
I'm going to say 4-1. I'm going to say Xavi Simons to score, Kudus to score, and a Van de Ven double.
2 headers probably from goal.
I don't care how he scores them. I'm going to say a Van de Ven double, only because I think if we can contain, I think the way that Frank's probably going to set up for the game is he's going to try and contain them for the first 5-10 minutes. And I think if we can contain them, they've shown recently that they're not in their fluid attacking. That Isak's not really doing a lot. The main worry for me is probably the likes of Nketiah. He's probably the main worry at the top for them. But Isak's not really been there. I think Gravenberch as well is probably the other one that would have to be wary of. But that's about it. And I think Liverpool at the moment, they're on the same sort of journey as when they concede. I've seen it recently in recent games, when they concede, their heads drop and they don't really know what to do. And I think if we pounce on that quickly, I'm sticking with it. 4-1 Tottenham. That's what's going to happen.
That's
I'm
a
telling
big ask, but and I'd love to see the odds on that, but yeah, you never know. You never know, do you? So
And
cool. Well, that's our predictions.
Phil, just quickly, we'll go off topic slightly. Do we have any word from Mr. Hickson if he's going to be joining us for the Liverpool review?
I can check. And we can see if we can
Because
get
we're
him
due a special guest soon, so we can have a special, have 4 of us on the panel at the same time.
Exactly. So coming to the end, that's obviously you've heard our predictions, myself, Phil, and Michael's. Put your predictions in the comments and let us know, and then we will see you all next week, where we can chat about the result, do our analysis again, talk about what a wonderful 4-1 win it was, and we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.
You know this is going viral if you get that bang on.
I'm telling you, we're winning it 4-1.
All right, 2-1.